his hand to the right. Grenadier Guards, the Cold Street Guards, and the Scots Guards are present and awaiting your intervention.
First time
the left in threes. 4 threes. Left. Up. Right over there. By the centre, quick, fire.
No competition. You can go on ahead and I'll.
Justin and his camera.
Amazing.
I can take Isaac now.
Okay. Just pack it down the camera and then.
Duncan, I'm leaving you here for sure. Yeah, that's fine. Duncan, you good to go?
Let's see. Also, I need to keep you because all my stuff is going off packed away.
Where is it? Oh, no, that's fine. Don't worry. Okay, well, you guys, I'll take you. Yeah, to go back out the way we
Go back
came
the way
in.
we came in.
Yeah, so back
Go back to advanced gate
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then report again for the beat to retreat.
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you. 3:30. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
So you can start with it. Alright, I know, no worries, I know it's...
Can I leave my camera here then?
When you got everything?
Okay, if you're happy with that shot. Thank you. we were further out last time.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling we were sort of like coming from.
they had a bit there and it went out on the gravel. So the angle was awful. So, and then getting out the carriage. That guy stood in the way of
I
everything.
know, it's like, he
Couldn't
wasn't
get one
here
hit.
last time. I mean, I was okay, he was clear trying to the right, so the bit of them getting up to that carriage was okay. I'm assuming he left it thinking we'd be coming back.
I think he thought he would, but
I'm assuming
Blimey.
this is his stuff. That's all mine.
okay.
And this.
That's yours. Okay, so it's just this.
It's just that.
All right,
There's the only thing remaining.
all right, amazing.
Everything else has already gone on eBay.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
There you are.
I was laughing at another caravan.
Literally saying,
Inspired.
Thank you very much for joining us for our live coverage of President Donald Trump's state visit to the United Kingdom. If you're just joining us, a few elements of this day, of this first full day of the state visit, are already behind us. President Trump and First Lady Melania now inside Windsor Castle. Plenty of elements still left that you will be able to see live here on our YouTube channel, also on apnews.com. That is also where we will have constant updates throughout the day with the latest blog items, but also the latest photos and video coming out of Windsor Castle, and this unprecedented second state visit to the United Kingdom for US President Donald Trump. It is something that has never been done before for a non-royal. Let's take you through the program of what you might have missed or might have watched with us here during our live coverage earlier today. The arrival ceremony, first of all, for President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. A first greeting from Prince William and Princess Catherine. Then another part of that official greeting was King Charles III and Queen Camilla, of course. And joining us throughout the day for commentary, but also her expert knowledge on all things British royal family, is Danica Kirker, based here in London, and who spends quite a lot of time here in Windsor as well. We just had a quick look at what we've seen so far. That includes, of course, the carriage procession. That has already happened on the grounds of Windsor Castle. We should mention everything that you've been seeing today so far has been happening inside the grounds of Windsor Castle and the grounds of the Windsor estate. Donald Trump won't be seen by the public here, some members of whom you can see behind us here. We're just at the entrance of Windsor Castle. So, Dan, from what we've seen so far, essentially things are going as planned, but still, I want to know your impressions of what we have seen so far. All the pomp and the pageantry that we spoke about earlier, that we were previewing, what kind of an impression did it give you?
Well, I mean, the military is certainly out in force today. They're earning their salary, that's for sure. I think that you know, it kind of goes to the point that we're at a proper castle. You know, Windsor Castle is nearly 1,000 years old, and you know what, it looks the part. And you know, so you have the troops with their red tunics and their bearskin hats lining the way, greeting the president. It offers that picture that's so important for a state visit. You really want to have the pomp and the ceremony, the royals, have everything in one box. But the other important thing you alluded to just now, Philip, is that it's all within the confines of the castle. You know, President Trump doesn't really, at any point in his state visit, you know, face the public. And, you know, we're in a time where, you know, his security is always extreme. But, you know, recently we had the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that, you know, brought up, you know, security concerns again. So I think it's all just very compact, and you know, it's all sort of, at the moment, going really well.
And all of what you'll be seeing today, again, will be happening within Windsor Castle. So this is a two-day state visit officially. President Trump arrived yesterday. He spent the night at Winfield House, that's in Regent's Park in central London, and only thereafter today in the morning here, local time, did he arrive here at Windsor Castle. So all of these events are taking place right here. That is a difference to other state visits in the past, and it's also different to the last state visit of President Trump. So the obvious question is, why is all of this happening here at Windsor Castle?
Well, a state visit is a really unique thing. There are only 2 or 3 a year, and that's because they take so much work. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been working for months to make sure that everything is perfect. The soldiers have been rehearsing and drilling and rehearsing with each other, bringing the various elements together. It's really difficult to bring in the music and the snap of the rifle when it whacks against the shoulders of all of the soldiers all at once. And, you know, we're also going to have a fly past later on. So, you know, all the elements of the military are out there.
We see the welcome ceremony, of course, that I mentioned already. Also, the national anthems both being played for the dignitaries and the inspection of the Guard of Honor by President Trump. Of course, something that he did during his last state visit to the United Kingdom as well. Of course, it's always worth mentioning the political backdrop to a state visit. In this case, it's a very different political backdrop, of course, in both countries. Here in the United Kingdom, there has been a lot of talk about the firing of Lord Mandelson, now the former UK ambassador to Washington, because of his connections to the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. There is also the simple fact that these two leaders don't really see eye to eye on so many political issues. And if you will, the backdrop in the United States is a very different one. The things that are commented upon during this state visit, they include, as you mentioned, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a far-right influencer and a big supporter of Donald Trump. So there is always a backdrop to these state visits. They don't happen entirely in suspended space, if you will. Let's talk about the politics a little bit, because they won't necessarily come up during the state banquet that is going to be happening later here today within Windsor Castle. But the politics will come up invariably tomorrow, during the second day of Donald Trump's visit, when he sees Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Chequers at his rural retreat. They'll undoubtedly be talking about the politics of the day, won't they?
They absolutely will, but you know, that's tomorrow. Today we're talking about soft power, that ability to meld the royals to the political establishment, to offer, you know, both your friends and your rivals a chance to be photographed with Princess Catherine and the Prince of Wales. That goes a long way in any country. And so, you know, politics always comes up. In theory, it'll even come up at the banquet tonight. But I'm sure it will all be done very, very quietly. Discussions among the various parties at the table.
All depends, of course, also on who you're sitting next to. Of course, the president will be sitting next to the king, but then there are so many other possibilities of who's going to be sitting next to which royal, who's going to be sitting next to which member of the administration.
That's a whole other kind of politics, for sure. I mean, the whole who sits where has been, you know, tormenting the brains of many a staff member for weeks now. You know, they normally mix the royals out into the. I mean, we're having us 160 for dinner. This evening. So they mix the royals out with the various dignitaries and celebrities and other people that will come, but it's not like anyone monitors the conversation. So, you know, be sure. I think a lot of people, though, will sort of just be sitting there in awe with the whole festivity of it all.
Well, we always talk, don't we, about the 2 days of this visit that Donald Trump is now in the middle of here to the United Kingdom, this being really the state visit, the main day of this visit. He was, after all, invited by King Charles III, and he will be spending his whole day here at Windsor Castle, and indeed is also going to be spending the night within Windsor Castle. But then tomorrow, Thursday, is an entirely different matter. That is when the first couple, President Trump and First Lady Melania, will be traveling to Chequers. At least she will be traveling near the end of that part of the trip to then depart the United Kingdom again for the United States. And that's, of course, where politics will be discussed. Again, worth mentioning the differences that currently exist between these two members of the so-called special relationship. When it comes to Gaza, for example, the United Kingdom planning to recognize the state of Palestine at the UN General Assembly next week in New York. That is something that the United Kingdom will do, that the United States very firmly opposes. When it comes to Ukraine as well, of course, the United Kingdom would like, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer would like the President of the United States to have less of a cozy relationship, if you will, but certainly not as close a relationship as he currently has with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Again, that's what's happening tomorrow. Let's take a look back at what we'll see over the next few hours, because this is what you'll be able to see here during our live coverage over the next few hours. Again, President Trump, the First Lady, everybody involved in the state visit currently having lunch within Windsor Castle. But there is more for us to see. There will be a viewing of the royal collection inside Windsor Castle. There will be something called the Beating Retreat ceremony. probably worth going into that. What is it? What is a beating retreat ceremony? What is President Trump going to be seeing inside Windsor Castle in a few hours' time?
Well, I mean, if we could first start with the Royal Collection, because
it
is certain to be something tied to the long history between the United States and the United Kingdom. You know, the Royal Collection has a deep well of documents that it could go to, and so that'll certainly be, you know, one of those things that really might be a highlight to the trip. And since President Trump has a connection to the United Kingdom, his mother was from Scotland, you know, I have a feeling that they're going to bring up a little something about her. I mean, I'm not sure what, but I just have a feeling that her connection to this country will come up. You know, the beating retreat ceremony is it's the first time that they performed it at a state visit. But again, it's just one of those things that the military has just really worked on to try to make it look good, to try to make it sound good. So that, you know, I mean, the whole point of a state visit is that the pomp and ceremony has a purpose. You know, that, you know, President Trump walks away from this with warm and fuzzy feelings, if I could put it that way, about this country. So that when they, you know, when he and Prime Minister Keir Starmer sit down and try to talk about some of the issues you were talking about, Middle East and Ukraine, that they have a better understanding of one another when they're going forward to talk about some of the world's most intractable problems.
It's worth also mentioning that we will, of course, be bringing you live coverage not just of what is happening within Windsor Castle here, but also what might be happening later today, and in fact will be happening later today in central London. There will be a protest against the state visit of Donald Trump, and there are expected to be quite a lot of people there, and that is something that we will, of course, bring to you live as well. There's also the possibility of there being a smaller protest here in Windsor, and we saw a smaller protest here last night as well. I think a few dozen protesters were here, a relatively small one, of course, and right now, well, we're seeing a few people with the red Trump-supporting hats on, and there are others who are protesting this visit. That's the kind of atmosphere that we have here today. How would you describe the atmosphere that we've felt here since this morning? There was obviously that feeling of anticipation, but it's certainly calm, isn't it?
Well, despite how ugly it is outside, it's kind of a festive sort of day. I mean, no one's causing too much trouble. It seems like the good townspeople of Windsor are, you know, sort of mulling around and trying to direct the many journalists who are here to get them to the right place. But I think at the moment, really, everyone who wants to protest is getting their chance, and those who want to not protest are getting their chance too, if I can put it that way.
And in fact, we can see them just off to our side. There are those who are Trump supporters and those who are protesting his visit, essentially standing side by side. So that's essentially the kind of situation we're seeing here. We certainly should mention that this is a very secure place right now. Essentially, it's been described as the iron ring, the ring of steel out around Windsor Castle. And of course, this visit is happening exclusively within the grounds of Windsor Castle and the Windsor estate. So this is a place that has been secured significantly by the police.
And, you know, Windsor is also not a huge place. I mean, population of maybe 30,000. It's a small market town, but it's got a big castle. And so, you know, it understands somehow that I think the people of the community sort of understand that they're at the center of the world right now. Maybe it's just simply that they kind of like that, as long as it only lasts for one day and all the reporters go home, you know. So I think that they're kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, the backdrop that we mentioned earlier, of course, especially in the United States, the fear of political violence, of course, came up again with the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. That is something that is very much on the minds of those within the US delegation coming here, not necessarily something that has dominated headlines here in the UK, though it has been a very important story here as well. Now, we can't confirm whether that has increased any security measures, but they are very significant indeed here today. Let's take you through some of the other events that you'll be able to see on our live coverage of Donald Trump's state visit. We mentioned already the beating retreat ceremony. There's also going to be a visit to St. George's Chapel inside the grounds of Windsor Castle, and that is, of course, where the Queen was laid to rest.
The Queen together with the late Prince Philip, and I think that this will have a lot of meaning for President Trump. He met the Queen, of course, not so long ago, and I think that she really made an impression on him, as she did to many leaders in 7 decades on the throne. People really valued her steadiness and her ability to consider conciliation, and which she talked about a lot in the speeches she had. So I think that will be a very quiet moment for him, and a chance to reflect on someone who really dedicated her life to the country.
And President Trump, has, of course, referred to Prince Charles as a friend of his already before departing the White House yesterday, but also upon arrival here in London. He sees them as being very close, and in fact we saw them, well, physically very close, because they shared one of those carriages together during the carriage procession within the Windsor estate. We saw one of those horse-drawn carriages that had the King and the President inside, sitting side by side, and nobody else inside. Covered carriages, by the way, because of the uncertain weather here. The second carriage, that was the First Lady and the Queen. Again, around 15-20 minutes time for them to have very, very personal conversations. Of course, that is the moment where you'd like to be a fly on the wall, and of course nobody will ever know what they will have spoken about in detail there. Let's end on a festive note, I suppose, and one that I know will see your enthusiasm about this, because you'll be able to see certainly the preparations. You will be able to see the banquet hall where the big dinner is going to be happening tonight. You've been to Windsor Castle many times, but it's going to be pretty special, first of all, for you to see what it looks like inside. But obviously this is going to be one of the main events here, and it's probably going to lead to some of the pictures that will lead the headlines tomorrow. What is the state banquet going to be like tonight?
Well, this, of course, is my favorite subject. So that preamble is because I love talking about the state banquet. Anyway, this will take place in St. George's Hall, which some people might remember as having a terrible fire in the early 90s. So, but you know, it was restored. But because it was restored relatively recently, when you're thinking about 1,000-year-old castles, it'll really look magnificent. So inside, they will have laid out this huge mahogany table, 50 meters. That's like half of an American football field, and around this table will be 160 guests. But because it's such a big table and because there's so much to do, it takes 5 days to set this table. I love that it takes 5 days to set a table. My tables take 5 minutes. But anyway, so I'll be able to get a chance to see them laying out how they've laid out, you know, the silver service, the grand service. This is a 200-year-old, really special, you know, presentation style, elaborate, full of everything from egg cups and salt shakers to candelabra, and flowers, and, you know, flickering lights, and, you know, it'll just really be magnificent. But what'll be even better is to see the people kind of come in.
And what they're wearing.
They're wearing tiaras, of course. And
not all of them. Sorry.
Not everyone's going to wear a tiara, Philip. But, you know, the point about the tiaras, and the reason that my colleagues are so tired of me talking about this, is that tiaras are very unique items within, you know, the royal pantheon. You know, they are whether your jewel is a diamond or an emerald or a ruby, you know, they are the real thing. And they're handed down from generation to generation. You know, for example, Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will often wear the lover's knot tiara, which is the one that Princess Diana wore and passed down to her, and one that Queen Elizabeth II gave to Princess Diana. So, you know, you have that little bit of history just in what they're wearing. And really, the royal women will wear things that have meaning to them, have symbolism to them. for example, Queen Camilla is the patron of the Rifles, and the Rifles, the military regiment, gave her a little Rifles pin, and she just loves wearing it. Wears it all the time. I mean, I don't know what she's going to wear tonight, but whatever it is, will have some sort of symbolism to the event. So, there, not only will there be a fantastic amount to see, but there'll be a fantastic amount to learn. And the royals also tend to send little messages with maybe just a little something, so that you might get a sense of what they might be thinking, maybe. I mean, for example, one time when Queen Elizabeth II met with Justin Trudeau when he was the Prime Minister of Canada. She'd known him for a long time, and so the pictures afterwards were this little happy meeting between Justin and the monarch. But behind them there was this huge, and I mean huge, vase of flowers in both yellow and blue, and we all looked at this for a moment and said, those are the colors of the flag of Ukraine. She's sending a message that she supports the people of Ukraine. But
there are no coincidences.
Oh no, never. But I'm not sure. I mean, in this state visit, I'm not sure exactly that the royals will necessarily have a lot of big messages. I mean, the United States and the United Kingdom are good friends as things go, and I don't know. We'll have to see. Isn't that the best part? You'll just have to look at it and figure it out for yourself.
And all that's left for me to do is to wish you a very nice time within the banquet hall, and hoping that you will join us afterwards and tell us what it looks like in there. I mentioned Danisa Kirker, based here in London, is our expert on all things royal family. Now you know that too, and we'll be hearing a little bit more from you later after the state banquet, if you don't mind.
I'll do my best.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Before that, you'll be able to follow, obviously, the other parts of the state visit of President Donald Trump to the United Kingdom. Plenty of elements that you will still be able to watch live right here, whether you're watching on YouTube or on apnews.com. There will be footage, of course, of the visit of the royal collection, of the visit to St. George's Chapel. Thereafter, the beating retreat, military and musical ceremony, and then, of course, any footage we get from the state banquet later tonight. That's all coming up, and we will be here live with you again at 5:15 local time. That is -5. 12:15 Eastern time. So we'll be back here to comment on all the things that we will have seen during this state visit of Donald Trump to the United Kingdom. And one note still, if you are watching our live coverage right now, it is because we have journalists for the Associated Press around the world, and if you value our unbiased independent journalism, then feel free to support our work. You can do that at apnews.com/donate. That's apnews.com/donate. Again, thank you very much for joining us during our live coverage, and we will be back here in the next few hours to bring you, first of all, all the footage from within Windsor Castle, but also we'll be commenting on it throughout.
há tendência grande a testar, mas não está marcada uma reunião para discutir uma série de temas, as questões sociais, mas também certamente as questões da guerra e importantes para a União Europeia. Vamos continuar a série pela representação da população. If you call to the characters to your camera, then they can all look in the same direction as well. right. You can retrain.
Testing. Hello, everybody! Everyone gather round! Gather round! It's so good to see so many of you here today. If you're round the corner, come towards the stage. Come towards the big round church. It's so great to see thousands of you here to say, Trump, not welcome. Say it loud, say it clear. Donald Trump's not welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Donald Trump's not welcome here. I can't hear Thank you. And we hope that this government will stop arming the genocide, will put full sanctions on Israel and stop trading with the genocidal entity. But if they don't, we're going to do it ourselves. And I am so proud of all the different civil disobedience and direct action groups who have been intervening to destroy the weapons and the drones that are being sent to Palestine to kill Palestinians from this country, that are trying to save the lives of Palestinians by challenging the arms industry directly, the dock workers all around the globe, and the trade unionists who are blocking the ports that are sending the weapons to Israel and sending the economic goods to Israel. And I urge all of you, coming out to protest is so important, and we've been seeing people, hundreds of thousands of people on the streets in the UK, millions of people all around the globe out on the streets to protest. And I urge you that the next step is to take this civil disobedience and direct action to stop the machine of genocide. Now, we also saw this weekend a far-right rally take place right here in the streets of London, and it was supported by the horrific MAGA crowd. We had Elon Musk saying that violence is coming to you, saying that people should be ready to fight or die. And what did our Prime Minister do? Barely anything. He was at a football match. The only thing he condemned was the fascist thugs attacking police officers, not the thugs attacking migrants on the streets, not the thugs attacking brown and black people everywhere, not the thugs attacking Muslims, not the people wanting to set fire to asylum hotels with people inside. This is a dereliction of duty and is a total failure of our government. And you know what? We will replace this genocidal government, and they need to have the fear in their bones of our people-powered movement. Okay, I've been on the stage for a while, and now I'm going to introduce our first speaker, because we've seen that Donald Trump is a climate catastrophe denier. He's in the hands of the big oil lobby. So, without further ado, I announce Hannah Martin from Green New Deal Rising.
Thank you. It's so inspiring to be here today. We organise young people on climate justice, and we're here today to stop Trump. Yes, but we're also here to stop Trump's politics from taking hold in this country. We draw a line, we say no further. What does that politics look like here? Well, it looks like fossil fuel subsidies. It looks like failure to rule out Rosebank. It looks like a failure to tackle the energy cost crisis in this country, as we make massive payouts to water companies and energy companies who are profiting off people's misery. It looks like demonising and criminalising peaceful protests, dragging grandmothers and vicars away for holding up signs protesting genocide. It is a disgrace, and we say no to Trump, and we say no to Trump's politics. We refuse to live in a country where we line the pockets of billionaires who have only made their money off the backs of ordinary working people. There is no way you can become that rich without exploiting people. So we're calling for wealth taxes in this budget. We run the Pay Up campaign. There are so many people getting behind wealth taxes. If you want to come and get involved, we're calling for a protest on the 27th of October. Please join us. If you're 16 to 35 and if you're older, please support us, because we all have to stand together. And finally, I just want to